So you want to pick up that shield and you want to pick it up quickly. Look at that Shiv. It's nice.
If you ask the pros, what is the best character in the game, they will tell you idiotic things like, oh, it depends on team comp, and oh, what time of the game is it? I call Croc. The only way to determine the best hero in the game is through a 6v6 mono-hero single elimination tournament. That is the only 100% fair way. Today's match?
Shiv versus Grey Talon. Ladies and gentlemen, we are live. Yet another fantastic game of One Trick Championship. The first game of the loser's bracket. So after this game, one hero will 100% be Gonzo's. No second loser's bracket, third loser's bracket coming in. Unless a lot of people beg me for it. Maybe then I'll do it. Or donate money. Please donate money to me. I like money. Anyhow, we are starting this fantastic game. Shiv Talon. We have a curse here as always.
Hello. Well, not as always. I have been missing for quite a bit of matches.
Yes, it's fine though. We still love you. And Uni, our beloved observer, a frequent helper in all of these events. He's right here. He cannot say anything. But you know, let's jump right into this game. We have a very interesting combo. Shiv is very much a close proximity character. On the other hand, Talon is very much a long distance character. Loves shooting at you with those charge shots. Look at those movement techs coming in. But yeah, so two very contrary characters. Who do you think has the edge here?
I definitely think the Grey Talons have the edge here. But you also have to consider the fact that whenever those Grey Talons are going to get, if they get cornered, not when, because Grey Talon has very good escape utility. But if those Grey Talons get, like, cornered in close quarters by Shiv, they most likely will die. But I do think Grey Talons, in the grand scheme of things, will have that huge advantage solely because their charge shot, solely because of their charge shot, their guided owl. Like, they have a lot of damage at range when Shiv really doesn't.
This is the perfect spot.
Yeah. Also, I think Grey Talon canonically hates Shiv. I just remember this when he said die very, very prominently. I think there's some beef going on there. Anyhow, I think the Shivs actually have a little bit of an advantage here. Shivs are one of the characters that has the most surprising, let's call it surprising, vertical mobility. Their ability to use their shotgun to just jump very quickly and get up where they're not supposed to be is something that top players know how to very well utilize to get those flyers out. They can use their dashes to very quickly get into flying characters, and those daggers hurt you even if they hit you at 100 feet away, not just 50 feet away. And not to mention their ult. Their ult is just very, very powerful and a good way of getting a low health Talon down to his grave. So, yeah, I don't know. I think Shivs do have a little bit of an edge. We are going to see how who wins here. Already a little bit of an advantage developing for the Shivs. They do have better deny capacity in lane. Their shotgun is pretty good, isn't it, Occurs?
Yeah, Shiv's shotgun is very good for denials. And we already see a decay on the Grey Talon side. I'm surprised it wasn't the Shiv side that got it first. But I only really noticed it because Comrade was getting a little mad in chat over it. Grey Talons are doing a little bit of trolling right now.
Oh yeah, I can only imagine. Early decay is such a good item against Shiv, isn't it? It's a very, very good choice. And we're going to see a lot of these games be defined by early items. We saw it with Restorative Locket against with the Guys v Bebop match, and we're seeing it with Decay here. I think we're going to see a lot of heal baits and decays because if you do that, you just neutralize Shiv as a character. On the other hand, Talon, we're going to see 6 knockdowns, aren't we? Going to see them occurs.
Definitely. And I think the knockdowns will be the bane of the Grey Talons if the Shivs want any chance of actually pulling through this match. I believe we'll also see some Phantom Strikes on the Shiv side eventually.
Do you see this heal bait into restorative shot? I think over the course of this tournament, people have really learned the lesson, which is if you are really, really determined, get a whole bunch of anti-heal. When would you get heal bait against Talon, though? I don't really associate Talon with like a lot of healing. It's just staying back. And we just already hear the first owl coming in, I think. Oh no, that was
No,
not the first Talon.
you're going crazy.
I'm going crazy. I think it was just the Spirit Snare sound. Never mind. Like, the Spirit Snare sound has a very similar beginning to the Talon Owl, which is fine in a normal game where you actually can keep track of the ults, but in this sort of situation, yeah, we don't really see a Shiv being low. This is something I saw in the Wraith game that the Talons didn't really execute well, but, I mean, if you see a Shiv at half health, like, right now, you don't need to, like, just wait to get him all the way up till ult range. Just tune him with 3 Talon ults. You're gonna get them back in a minute anyhow. But yeah, look at that Shiv!
Wow.
Just going in.
That was a hard dive, and I think this other great Talon dies as well, possibly. Oh,
Yeah.
he gets away. That was an incredible dive by Comrade Indrid.
Yeah, Comrade, incredible player, very freaking contributor to the series, and yeah, it's just really, really powerful to see how these Shivs are gonna just dive in. They don't care. The Spirit Snares are gonna be really powerful to block those dive-ins, though. They're gonna be a much more powerful tool because normally Spirit Snare is like somewhat scary, but not a huge problem unless you're thinking about like Urn or some sort of scenario like that. But in this sort of scenario, where you can like pepper the ground with Spirit Snares, with a hero like Shiv, who really likes to be up close and personal, it's gonna be a lot of problems for those Talons.
Yeah, definitely. But I also think that the Talons, the curse trap for the Talons is also going to be very useful in the fact that if Shivs go dash, that curse trap will be a hard counter to dash because a lot of dash abilities such as Calico Pounce, Shiv Dash, and like Abrams Charge, all of these will get immediately mitigated by that curse trap. It's a very powerful tool.
Yeah. Anyhow, in lane number 3, we are seeing the very first Guardian almost down. Very, very big pick over the Shivs early on. They do have a little bit of an early lead, but unfortunately they forced it back. Shivs just get such a power spike once they get rage. I mean, their dash damage is doubled. It's incredible and very dangerous. So it doesn't surprise me at all that they're getting a little bit of an early game lead, but the game's still pretty equal so far. Like, only 1k difference, not huge. Regardless, going into mid-game, what techs do you expect both sides to take? We discussed already the decays. Anything else you're thinking we're going to see earlier than normal?
I expect both teams to be stacking a lot of restorative lockets, similar to the Bebop Geist episode. Because both of these characters are characters that are notorious for spamming a lot of abilities. Even though Restorative Locket is going to be slightly worse against Grey Talon because of the significant range nerf it got recently that happened in the middle of the series, even though it got that nerf, I still think it's going to be picked a lot against these Grey Talons in the game, especially for the fact that Shiv benefits a lot more from healing than other characters because of his bloodletting.
Yeah. Bloodletting is an incredibly powerful ability. Bloodletting and Frenzy have been the bane of my existence many, many times on ladder. And, yeah. This is the problem. How are you going to dodge the Talon Owl? Wait, as I say that, he did dodge the Talon Owl!
Right now is normally where I would be talking about how Shivs would probably need to be stacking Ethereal Shift. But in the most recent update, the same one that nerfed Restorative Locket, in the middle of the series, we got a huge, I wouldn't say nerf, but it's a rework to how Ethereal Shift works. Ethereal Shift, as of now, and maybe not in the future, there's a chance it gets reverted, but right now, Ethereal Shift is a 6,000 now.
But you get the ability to cancel it whenever you want, which is a very, very powerful ability. Before, it used to be a fixed period, you could even time it very well. Now you can cancel it, much like a cube. So, you know, you could buy your own cube in a way, which is very nice. Anyhow,
yeah, but the issue is going to be that price for it. That is a steep price for early or mid-game for something that really is solely defensive.
Yes. But, yeah, we will see. We have seen a bunch of weird techs over the course of the series. We've seen silencers, we've seen whale walkers, we've seen a whole bunch of untraditional techs, let's say. So it wouldn't surprise me if we saw a couple of E-shifts or But no, let's talk a little bit about this big fight happening on lane number 1 here. A little bit of poking. I see owls all around. There should always be an owl just in case something happens, just hovering around any battlefield. But yeah, Urn now drops. Who do you think is the better Urner? Do you think it's the Talons or do you think it's the Shivs?
I think Talons will probably have the advantage while running Urn because of their capabilities with, and as well as running Urn, defending Urn as well, for several reasons. Mainly because of that Curse Trap, and the fact that Grey Talon starts the game with 4 stamina, which is going to help a lot with delivering that Urn.
The Curse Trap, Spirit Snare is going to be such a huge the ability there. You just put 1 or 2 of them on the Urn, and somebody has to go and trigger it. Do you ever want to intentionally curse yourselves? Yeah.
Hell, drop all 6 on the Urn drop off.
Well, I mean, you do it like 1 at a time, right? You don't want to use all 6 of those urns. Somebody steps on them, gets cursed for 3 seconds, and suddenly they're back in the game. But yeah, so far the Shivs have a little bit of an advantage. Let's talk a little bit about how the builds are developing. I think we might be a little bit early, but what do we see? I see a little bit of util. Guns.
We're already seeing a lot of Spirit Shield on the Grey Talon side, which I think is a very good play.
Yeah.
That Spirit Shield will help them a lot, not only with Spirit Power, because Enchanted Barrier gives a lot of Spirit Power, but with surviving those Shiv dashes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, those Shiv dashes and those Shiv knives are just so much spirit damage, and you know very well that the shotguns are not going to be effective because you can just fly out of them. So you want to pick up that shield and you want to pick it up quickly. Look at that Shiv! He just dies! He dies and the Shiv very intelligently waits so he can deny the souls for him. Very, very smart plays there.
We see a item that normally would be an incredible buy, but this item is really questionable, I'd say, in this matchup. We see a Shiv with debuff reducer right now.
Debuff reducer?
Normally, debuff reducer would be an insane item for Shiv, but there's not going to be that many debuffs going around right now. I mean,
bloodletting,
what are you going to be doing?
Is bloodletting a debuff? That's the question that I have.
As far as I'm aware, bloodletting is not affected by debuff reducer. But, like, what are you going to be reducing right now?
I mean, the
slowdown from his flight?
So here's a couple of things. The first thing, the obvious thing, is Spirit Snare, right? You want to reduce those curse timings, especially if you're dashing around, which we discussed will be a very common occurrence. But what I think the debuff reducer is going to be great at is those decays and those heal baits, right? That's like your only good way of denying those decays. Just getting debuff reducer and probably debuff remover later in the game. And if you have a Shiv that can just fully heal, that's a powerful Shiv right there. So the Shivs know that they have the damage, they know that they have the capacity, they just need to deny those decays. Maybe this is a very good tech, actually.
I think that is fair, but you have to consider this is incredibly early into the game. We don't see that many decays, we only see, I believe, 1 decay right now. And that curse trap right now is only going to be cursing for what? A second and a half? That is not that much time for you to really invest that much into that debuff reducer. Because curse trap, mainly what it is for is that interrupt.
I mean, this will be a good thing to ask the Shivs afterwards, like why the early debuff reducer. I'm actually very curious. Look at that owl after
the first
owl.
Of the birds. The first of the birds being stacked on someone.
Which is surprising to me because I see I see like 3 Shivs that would like 3 owls in their face right now. But yeah, no, very funky game so far. Very funky game so far. The Shivs have developed a little bit of an early lead. It is going to be very interesting to see how the Talons are going to recover. Now, of course.
Looks like the builds are evolving right now. I think we're going to have 3 Spirit Shivs, and I'd say 3 Gun Shivs. Because we already see Comrade going nearly full into gun with Headhunter.
It's a very good tech with any shotgun character, frankly, right? And Withering Whip to counter that, I think. That is very funky.
Now,
Oh
on the
god.
flip side of the debuff reducer thing, I definitely think the Grey Talons buying those debuff reducers is very smart because of that knife. They're probably expecting several Shivs to go into that knife build, which they assume correctly because we see, I believe, 2 Shivs already with max knife. I mean, those knives are going to be hurting a lot.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, like, do you think that we'll see a very early escalating exposure? If there's like one character in the game that still kind of likes escalating exposure, it is Shivs. And with a couple of those debuffs, spirit debuffs, which are going to be very important if the Talons keep going for more and more spirit resist, I think we might see a couple of those pretty early. Yeah.
Possibly because we're seeing a lot of knife builds. But one thing I would like to point out that might have been a misplay is Jinx, who is already going full gun, which is kind of to be expected from the Grey Talon side, but the issue with that is Jinx pre-bought debuff remover already, which I know I just said that debuff reducer would be great, but I don't think sacrificing all of your damage, especially on a build for Grey Talon that is objectively a lot worse early game than the arrow build, sacrificing that 4.2k just for debuff remover right now is
Did you
probably
see that
not the best play.
barrage of arrows from above? That was really funny. The Shivs are depositing the earth though. They get spirit snared out of it. Big fight coming in. Is that going to be enough to deposit here? Seems like so. The Shivs get the urn, even though it's the opponent's urn. No, here's my thought. Okay. So right now it is obvious that the Shivs have a little bit of a soul lead, right? But the Shivs are gonna struggle a lot to fight these walkers, and you're gonna say, how? Why would the Shivs struggle to fight these walkers? Well, the Shivs cannot dive into the walker in the same way that they can dive in like an open ground, like right now. So what happens is you fight under walkers, and a debuff reducer, yeah, you're not gonna have the damage, but you're gonna be able to like outlast the Shivs, which is much more important than the damage itself. This is actually a very interesting question. I really hope that you could check this a bit. But we have a very big document of all the weird interactions. Can you have multiple how do multiple Shiv knives interact with each other?
Assuming from how Shiv works and how we've seen other characters work, I'm assuming that Shiv knives most likely just stack on top of each other because of how they normally work. But I'm assuming because of how Eternus worked, and we saw how that went.
Yeah.
It most likely applies the spirit power of the most recent knife placed onto the target.
Mm-hmm. That would make sense. That would make sense. So yeah, yeah, but regardless, the Shivs have lost the first walker. This is what I'm telling. It's just very hard to siege these walkers for the Shiv. Yes, they have a material advantage of 15k, but the sieging the walkers is just be so difficult. You just need to catch these Talons under in an open sky, right?
I believe you missed out on it, but we just saw 5 birds go after Shimpy on that left lane.
Well, clearly not enough. 6 was
definitely
necessary.
not enough.
Yeah.
We're already seeing the crack.
A crack in the mental armor. A crack in the mental armor. I mean, I wouldn't say Shiv is broken as much as sometimes weird synergies appear when there's 6 of the same character, right? And if the daggers do work how we've discussed they work. Oh, the Talon, that Shiv is very low. He's definitely within an owl range. Would he be able to die here?
There's a chance that he dies from bloodletting, if I'm being honest.
Oh, no, he has healing right. He's not going to get...
Oh, never mind. Yeah, I do see that. Yeah. I think he gets away from that. But this Grey Talon definitely does not get away from those Shivs.
Does he not? He does also healing right. This back and forth, back and forth. And yeah, 2 flex slots have been secured for both sides. actually, no. The Walker flex slot has been secured for Great Talon, but not that Guardian slot. Do you think we're going to see a Guardian sacrifice himself for the cause?
I definitely think we're going to see a Great Talon sacrifice themselves, but probably not a Guardian sacrifice himself.
Yeah, no, yeah, that's exactly what I meant. We have discovered, this is a spoiler for other series, we have discovered there is a way to make Guardians walk in the code. And
Really?
you might see that soon. Who knows? Very spicy stuff our community is preparing for future games. Look at these Talons. The owls are just not doing enough damage. Most of the Shivs have got double spirit armor, like improved spirit armor right now, and you cannot take the Shivs in 1v1s. It's just impossible.
And it looks like I might have called it too soon. I was about to say Kinninger gets away, but they do not.
It's that Shiv is very low. He does use some sort of healing. They're just walking through the spirit snares, and I do see already a whole bunch of knockdowns. I think Uni pointed it out a little bit earlier, but yeah, knockdowns are going to be just such a core tech for this game. So
Yeah, definitely. And I think the debuff remover, not remover, my bad. Debuff remover buy is most likely a prediction of that, but I think debuff remover could have waited. We're already seeing a lot of spirit armor being stacked on Shiv.
Yeah, which makes sense, right?
4 people with tier 3 spirit armor right now. I mean,
you want to neutralize those
Talons.
charged shots. You want to neutralize those decays. You want to neutralize those outs, right? Like,
exactly.
How are the Talons doing stack wise? Can we check that, Uni? Like stack wise for their ults. If you have, can you check
believe
that?
really any of the. Actually, no. We have
if you
2
click
Great
on
Talons who have any stacks. Saucepan has 5 spirit power from his ultimate, and Stellar has 10. But every other Great Talon has 0 right now, which is really surprising. I mean, you'd expect a lot more stacks, seeing how Bebop's stacks were like affected by this. But it's really surprising that we haven't seen that much.
Yeah, it's Talon stacks work differently to Bebop stack. For people who don't know, Bebop kill stacks are shared amongst the whole Bebop team, whereas Talon stacks apparently are not. So there's a lot of spaghetti code in this game, I do have to say. The Talons are probably going to be able to deposit this urn. We do not see the Shivs contested. They should go in.
Devil's advocate. I don't think they intended for 6 of each character to be in one match.
You think? You think?
Especially how we saw the ice palaces with the Kelvins.
The gas palaces with the Kelvins.
The ice palaces were hilarious to watch.
Yes. Yeah, no, the ice palaces were fantastic. I have to say.
I see you.
Yeah.
We're seeing the Shivs really centralize on that blue walker. They really want to get that walker and then collapse on that right walker to get the flex slots right now. I think they're waiting out the Great Talons to run out of arrows right now.
Yeah, it's just very, very important to be able to exhaust those arrows out, and those spirit shields. Those arrows are not going to hurt that much. The Shivs do have a little bit of a commanding lead going to this last walker, and I mean, taking fights outside of base or outside of walkers against the Shivs is just so dangerous. We do see one very cheeky Talon manages to steal one of the farms. But,
and just like I called, we see 2 Phantom Strikes on the Shivs. Normally you'd be like, why would you buy Phantom Strike over Knockdown in this situation this early? But you have to consider the fact that all the Great Talons have, like, debuff remover right now. So the Phantom Strike buy is incredibly smart. You can debuff remove an Anvil, but you can't debuff remove a Shiv fly again.
What's going on there? How did that Talon survive? Oh my god, the Talon lives!
Jimmy survived on like, what, 50, 70 health?
Yeah.
I mean, that was incredible.
Incredible survival skills. Who was that? Was it Jimmy? Yeah.
Jimmy, yeah.
Yeah. That was a very, very good survival. Might that be the clip? It's either that or the many Talons shooting at one person. We're gonna see. We're gonna see. Anyhow, big fight happening right now.
We're
Yeah,
seeing
fighting
one
around
of
the
the
walkers
Shivs
is
split
just
push that right walker.
yeah. Like again, it's just so difficult to split push and fight under these walkers. The Shivs, despite having an enormous 25k soul lead, have been struggling to push because the Talons can just shoot so much. Who is sighing? Is it Jimmy? Is it not eternally immortal? Noob down. Ooh, we do see a little bit of
we're
BM
seeing some
here.
toxicity from Comrade right now. I mean, can we ban him for unsportsmanlike conduct?
So true. I mean, if we start banning players for unsportsmanlike conduct, we'll have no players to play these games. By the way, guys,
you have
if
to,
you
have
are,
to realize that.
yeah,
You have to realize that Valve games are toxic.
oh, Valve games are not toxic. Is TF2 toxic? I don't get that impression from the community. I get the impression they like.
I think it
hacks.
depends. I think it depends. I've definitely seen interesting people on my time on TF2. But it's a little more tame compared to like Dota and Counter-Strike, I'd say.
Yeah. But regardless, what was I gonna say? It is. This is a call to you. If you're watching the video right now, if you're Ascend or Eternus in NA and maybe even EU or South Africa, South America, probably South Africa would be pretty bad ping-wise, but South America, please, we need players for these games. We really would appreciate it if you join the Discord. You can find the link in the description below. But yeah, it's just very, very important that we get players for these games. So it's always a hassle. I have to send so many messages. It would be nice if like these matches would be easier to organize, and you can be part of that easier organization. Anyhow,
We're seeing the Shivs with an incredible lead. They have a lead of almost 40,000 right now. But they're not being able to push up right now. Why? Because that Grey Talon, the Grey Talon kit is incredibly oppressive. It doesn't matter that the Grey Talons are down 30, 40,000 right now. That kit Grey Talon has with 6 of them is incredibly annoying for those Shivs to push in. Because all these Talons are getting up tier 2, tier 3 snare right now. So they're getting up these multiplicative scalings with bullet damage. They're getting up the timers on snare to like 2.5 seconds a curse. I mean, this is going to be hell for the Shivs to push right now.
the Shivs are excellent in these 1v1 situations or many situations where everyone's on the ground. But catching these Talons on the retreat is just so difficult. That's why the Phantom Strikes are going to prove very useful. I hope we see more Shivs having bought. But, yeah, unstoppable here. The Shivs are tired of the curses. They just want to dash around. Very good choice, though. I like it. I like it a lot. Very smart.
And it seems like the Shivs have caught on to the fact that the Grey Talons are actually running bullet. We're already seeing some bullet armor finally be bought.
Yeah, I mean, like, especially now that the fighting is in base, the ability to just retreat in base and the Shivs can be as greedy as they want, go in, is just so valuable. You can just take these trades. The Shivs are not going to outlast you if you have Heal Bane Toxic Bullets Decay. We do see Crippling Headshot to deal with those resistances, especially the Spirit Resist. Very, very smart tech choice. Crippling Headshot does stack for multiple Crippling Headshot sources. Am I right, Spurs?
Actually, I think you're incorrect on that one. As far as I'm aware, whenever a second crippling headshot is applied on a target, it doesn't stack on top of it, but rather just refreshes the timer. That's why you usually see people in matches tell you when they buy crippling headshot, because buying several of them isn't as effective.
Yeah, you know, I don't think anyone tells me what the hell they're buying unless they're buying Knockdown after you've asked like the whole team to buy Knockdown. Nobody is like, I bought Knockdown now. You guys suck. That's like the extent of communication about item choices here.
Yeah,
And it's a good
that
debuff
just sounds
remover
like
game. That's what I
matchmaking.
say. Yeah, that's what I say every third game. It's a good debuff removal game. Anyhow,
I
big
mean-
picks.
You should probably be saying that every game. I mean, almost
Yeah, it is. Every
single
game is a good
character
debuff removal game.
is detrimented by debuff removal.
Anyhow, yeah, we keep seeing that the Shiv advance, even though they're so ahead in souls, they keep losing Shiv after Shiv. The Talon kit is really, really powerful. Especially for these more defensive situations. The Shivs are gonna just like bruise. Is Kittinger being targeted? I think Kittinger is the only E6 in the team. So, probably targeted very intentionally. Just get him out of his position. However, there's 2v3, 3 Shivs dead versus 2 Talons. They're pushing. We do see a little bit of a Shiv movement tech right there with the shotguns. Will there be a chase here?
I don't think the Great Talons will chase the Shivs. They know the Shivs are running to those more close quarter areas while trying to escape. And the Great Talons know that if it comes to close quarters, as we just saw in that base fights where they were just diving into them and getting those picks on the Great Talons, those Great Talons will not win in close quarters. They need that long range potential of that Great Talon. They need that, like, that CC from the Spirit's traps.
Yes, without a shadow of a doubt, yes. Oh, we do see a Shiv very low. He does use debuff reducer. He's gonna try and get away right here. And we do have confirmation that debuff reducer and debuff remover do not work on bloodletting, because I was tracking that, and several Shivs just come lucky into Jimmy. But yeah.
These Great Talons, even though they're far behind, the Shivs just cannot crack them. They are this unstoppable beast, even though they are like, well, I wouldn't say unstoppable, more like immovable object, probably. But
Yeah.
they're this beast that they just cannot push. So the Shivs are doing mid right now to try and at least alleviate that a little bit.
I mean,
But
in
I still think it's going to be
theory-
a struggle to try and push in.
In theory, the Talons should be a lot better at mid than the Shivs because of those spirit curses, but the Shivs already have unstoppables, I'm pretty certain. Are the Talons even going to be able to contest? Yes,
I
no.
think the
I
Talons are
see a
gonna
bunch of
attempt
spirit
to
traps being
contest.
thrown. It's not going to be enough.
Oh,
Not
we saw
enough.
some great parries.
Great parries, not enough. And that might be enough. They have 2 picks on the Talons. They're probably gonna... And a 3rd pick here, too.
Yeah,
So that might be
I
enough.
believe this might be game. They have a lane straight into that base, and they have 3 picks right now. Only concern is going to be that lane that is all the way into Walker. But even if the Grey Talons did push that, and if the Shivs didn't clear that, that wouldn't get the Grey Talons much. I mean, do you really want to be sending someone out all the way there to kill a Walker that wouldn't even get you a flex slot?
Yeah, it's just not a good idea. But yeah, the Shivs are pushing the base. 3 Talons are not going to have enough power. The knockdowns are just doing so much work here. Did not get debuff removed on time. But yeah, the Talons can at best delay here and hope that they can hold a weakened patron. But is that going to be enough? I don't know. I think that the Shivs might be able to just force it with gun damage here.
Possibly.
We shall see. We shall see.
Definitely think at the least they get that patron weak.
Yeah, no, the weakened patron is guaranteed at this point. It would be very surprising if the Shivs don't get a weakened patron. And as I say, they get it. It's, yeah, they do. The Talons do have a
on one of the
pick.
Shivs
Is that
already.
enough to back? One of the Shivs is farming, it seems. What an opportune moment to farm.
And I kind of felt like it. The one that was farming is Comrade, who
Yes.
I think is performing extremely well, judging from the fact they are 50,000 souls right now.
Yes. They are,
However,
very
this might
much
have been
a
an
team
incredible
lead.
misplay. He might die here, actually.
He does,
Yeah,
he's got
we
a
see
very good
Comrade go
finish, right?
down. I
Yeah.
don't think the Shivs can end here now.
Yeah, another Shiv leaving. And I mean, this is the power of the Great Talons. You're not going to be able to easily leave from there. They're hoping to get a trade. That's not going to happen.
Wow.
The Shivs are the... I'm not going to say it's a comeback, but it's looking like a Frenzy full blood armor. Died 31 hits. So real, so Talon.
I definitely think that the game isn't really winnable for Talon at this state, but that Talon team can drag on this match as long as they want. Their defense is going to be incredible.
What do you think the longest match of this tournament will be? Like the
It
longest
might be,
match.
it might be this one, if I'm being honest.
Do you
I
think
mean,
the Shivs are just impenetrable?
I definitely think that the match we're seeing here right now could easily extend into 40 minutes.
We have the next game we need to cast. We are already 15 minutes late on that. I'm noticing as a timer. I need to probably make a post on the Discord saying, yeah, the game's definitely happening. We're just in the middle of the game.
Yeah. Actually, Logan is in voice chat, right? Can you do that right now?
No, yeah, Logan,
I mean,
can you
sorry,
deal with...
he's not in voice chat right now for the video.
Yeah. It's fine. Logan is a constant contributor to the channel. He's been in all the Eternus versus Initiate matches, and he helps us a lot. So you should be informing the other people. So for people who don't know, for people who are just watching this on YouTube, we do... I think Logan said something. What did you say?
Oh, I don't know you, that's all I said.
Oh, you don't know. Never mind. Logan does not know me.
Yeah, we just kidnapped this guy. We brought him off the street.
Yes.
Am I still getting my ice cream sandwich?
No.
One of these days. One of these days. Anyhow, what was I saying? We do stream these matches live on Twitch, so you can watch them a little bit earlier. We try to do like 2 or 3 filmings in one day, and then we'll submit them to YouTube over the course of the coming days. So please, please, please don't forget to not only like and subscribe to the YouTube video, but also check out our Discord so you can be aware of when the next filming is. So, yeah, a big push happening right now. The Shivs are all very bruised. We do see.
Yeah,
I do hear the Talon owls.
I think the Talons will be able to push this push back because the Great Talons are probably going to be able to kill these Shivs with their owls because they have a lot of tier 3 owls. I mean,
Yes.
It doesn't matter how much damage their owls are going to be doing at base because all of these Shivs are incredibly low, so they're just going to get one-tapped by that execute on tier 3.
Yeah, no, that's just a very, very powerful ability. We're seeing the Talons. The ships are so low, and yet they're like staying nearby. Are they just trying to? Are they trying to force it here? Oh, that's
It
risky.
looks like the Talons are out of owls.
The Talons are out of owls.
Might be game.
I don't know.
They
They could
have
probably
one owl
afford a
right now,
refresher or
but
two.
they made a big mistake for wasting all these owls. Because the Shivs are healed up right now, and they're really emboldened from that lack of owls.
Another pick. That might be it. That might be all that they
and
needed.
That's game.
That is game. GG. The Shivs have it. And the Talons are out of the tournament.
So I don't know if you heard, but there's a massive patch that just released, which is part of the reason why we don't have the MVP end of interview discussions. These were edited in a hurry. In the meantime, I hope you enjoy the new apps that I've been working on. And please don't forget to like and subscribe. The only other game with the old patch is going to be Hazy Viper, which is going to be released shortly. Have a good day.